So we're going to have a little look at part D of the patterns and sequences question on the 2016 mock. Again, quite a difficult question compared to some that you could get. Reason being that we're using the sum formula, we have to figure out what n is. Normally we're given what n is, so we're working backwards here. Wouldn't come up massively often, but can come up, and it is good to know. So, to begin with, from the previous parts, we know that a is the first term of the sequence, which is 2. We know that d is the difference, so that's 6, that was got from the previous parts. And we're not sure what n is, we have to figure that out. We know we're using the sum rule, and we know it all equals 420. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill in all the information we know. First of all, I'm going to write out the sum rule, which is given to you in the exam, and it's n over 2 times 2a plus n minus 1 in brackets by d. That's my sum rule. Okay? That gives me everything I need to know to do this question. So let's fill out what we know. So let's start off with n. We don't know what n is, so we're going to leave it as n. Figuring that out. Over 2. Bracket. 2 times a. Well, a is 2. That's given to us in the previous part. Plus n minus 1. Don't know what n is, so we're going to leave that there. Times by d. And d is 6. Given to us in the previous question. Close my brackets. And that's all equal to 420. So what we've done here is we effectively just made an equation, which we can simplify down. So let's start simplifying. N over 2. Bracket. 2 times 2 is 4. Plus 6 times 1 is 6n. 6 times minus 1 is minus 6. Is all equal to 420. Then we go n over 2. 4 minus 6 is minus 2. 6n, we can't do anything with that. So 6n minus 2 is equal to 420. So even by getting down to this far, you have a serious amount of marks. So you're getting a serious amount of marks here. So here's where it starts getting a little bit more difficult. I'm going to get rid of the 2 on this side. So get rid of the 2 on this side, I can times by 2. That gets rid of it. They cancel with each other. But I have to times this side by 2 as well. So that 2 goes away, right? If that was a half, 2 times a half makes it 1. Now, I'm left with n on 6n minus 2 is all equal to 840. So I have to double this side. Remember, do something to one side, over an equation, you have to do it to the other side. N times 6n is 6n squared. 2 times n is minus 2n. Is all equal to 840. And what I can do now, I can do 6n squared minus 2n minus 840 is all equal to 0. And what we have there is we have a quadratic. So we have a quadratic. And I would, in this case, use my minus b formula. Okay, so I would use my minus b formula just to be sure here. There's other ways of doing it. You can factorize it, but by factorizing it, it's very tricky. Okay, I'm looking at a solution here with it factorized, and it's very, very complicated. So I would use minus b formula. I do a is equal to 6, b is equal to minus 2, and c is equal to minus 840, and that's going to give you your n values there. So the n values are going to be 0, or sorry, 12, and when I do the other one, I'm going to get 11.6. So n is equal to 12. It's the 12th term. Okay. That will round off to 12 there. So we've got a fairly complicated solution there. But again, if you see something with n squared, n, and a number, you can use your minus b on that to solve it. Make your life a bit easier.